Today is my last day in paradise for now, and we are also down to the last 2 chapters in this video series about Amy Morin's book, 13 Things Mentally Strong Couples Don't Do. We're on chapter 12. Mentally strong couples don't take each other for granted. Percent of people say their partner sometimes takes them for granted. And I'm not surprised, because that is something that we very easily do. We're with somebody for a while, and then it is easy to take them for granted. Their presence in our life and everything that they do. Taking the other one for granted could mean we don't say thank you often enough. We spend more time complaining about what they don't do than appreciating what they do. Or similarly, we're quicker to notice all the things that they don't do right, rather than focusing on everything that they do well. Sometimes we have very high expectations what that other person should do for us. So why do we take other people for granted? It could be that we're not even realizing how much they're doing for us, especially if the other person is not pointing it out and is making everything run very smoothly. Let's say one partner who is taking care of the household and the kids, and they're making it look very effortless and smooth. We might assume that our partner knows that we appreciate them, or perhaps we're so absorbed in our own problems, our own daily challenges, that we don't notice how much someone else is doing. It's really important to express our appreciation verbally. That can happen in 2 ways. You can either express it directly to your partner, something like, thank you for working so hard that we can pay all the bills, or I love your helpfulness, thank you for helping my friend change the tire. Some people struggle to accept compliments and affirmations. Another way to let them know is you praise your partner in front of other people. Say something nice, positive, how you're proud of them when they can hear you, when they're in earshot. If you're the one who's taking a partner for granted, maybe your partner has pointed this out to you, the first thing to identify is the actual problem. Don't you feel grateful, or are you just not expressing your gratitude? Both. If you don't feel grateful, that could be a general feeling that you have about life. A gratitude practice would come in handy. For example, journaling every day about what you're grateful and thankful for. If the problem is that you're not expressing it, you're dealing with a habit change. Make it a habit to daily express at least a couple of thoughtful things to your partner. For example, over dinner, you can let them know what you appreciate, or you can send them a text during the day. And when you practice and share gratitude regularly, your brain will start to look for all the good in your partner and in the relationship. If your partner is the one who is taking you for granted, start by showing your appreciation to them, and that might encourage them to reciprocate. Avoid getting into a competition who deserves more appreciation. Be generous with your compliments, your affirmations, your statements of love and appreciation. That feels good for your partner, but it feels good for you too, to be that generous. Don't say things like, you never show me any appreciation for all that I do. Rather say, it makes me feel really good when I hear that you notice what I do. If your partner is the one who feels that you are taking them for granted, be open and curious. Listen to what is actually going on here, in which way they feel unappreciated. Do they feel that you don't say thank you enough? Do they have the impression that you're expecting too much of them? Or do they feel that you don't appreciate what they do? Sometimes feeling not appreciated can go back to our love languages. If you're interested to find out more about the love languages, please see my video. The link is below in the description. It often helps the couples I work with to know their own love language, their own primary love language. We can have more than one. And their partner's primary love language, to understand what the other person needs to feel loved and appreciated. If I, for example, buy you a gift because that happens to be my love language, that's how I like to show appreciation or receive appreciation as well, and you would much rather hear words of affirmation from me, we have a disconnect. Then you don't feel appreciated at all, even though with that gift, I was trying to show you some appreciation. Here's an exercise if you both take each other for granted. First, write down everything that you appreciate about your partner. Then write down what you think they appreciate about you. And then the two of you can compare notes. That leads to a good conversation and definitely more understanding. In the end, you probably both feel much better about the give and take when you realize that your partner notices more and that you had maybe also forgotten a few things. At the end of that exercise, you can make a plan how you can ensure to continue showing appreciation to each other. It makes you much stronger as a couple to express your gratitude to each other, because everybody wants to know that others notice our efforts. If we say thank you regularly, it creates a climate of gratitude, and that is actually good for the entire family. If you have kids, it is also really good for kids to grow up in an environment where we're conscious of other people and their efforts. Another interesting side effect of showing appreciation is that people who feel loved, accepted, and appreciated are more responsive to their partner's sexual advances as well. So this gratitude or appreciation practice might improve your sex life. Dr. John Gottman's research has shown that individuals who express and experience gratitude live in happier and healthier relationships. This simple practice of being more aware and grateful is good for the longevity of your marriage. Appreciation is a powerful tool. It can either strengthen a marriage that's already pretty good and keep it going, or it can turn around a relationship that's struggling. Because when we feel better, we're also more motivated to work through the tough stuff. As always, we can misunderstand this advice, so Amy Morin gives us some warnings, some common traps we could fall into. Number one are sarcastic thank yous. Sarcasm has the opposite effect. A sarcastic thank you is more destructive than not saying anything at all. You should also not combine a complaint with a compliment. When Amy Morin says that, she means something like, thank you for actually picking up the dry cleaning that I asked you to pick up 3 days ago. Even the little word but negates and destroys a good compliment. If I start with a compliment and then I say but, I'm really negating everything that I've said before that word but. Something like, I think you're really creative, but you could clean up better after one of your art projects. That really is a hidden criticism and not a compliment at all. Don't destroy good compliments by using the word but. Another trap to be aware of is when we do things for our partner just for the recognition and not because they actually needed or wanted something. If your partner is not appreciating expensive gifts, don't go all overboard. Or if they don't appreciate food and cooking, don't slave in the kitchen for 3 hours and expect them to be grateful. Unless, of course, you enjoy spending 3 hours in the kitchen being creative. Here are some ideas to start a conversation with your partner about gratitude. You can ask them for examples when they felt appreciated by you. You could ask, what are the best ways that I can show appreciation to you? You can talk about times when you both showed appreciation to each other, even though it was maybe difficult. Perhaps you were stressed or busy, but you took the time and did it anyways. And you can discuss your love language with your partner. If you haven't heard of the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman, check out my video on that topic. This is your relationship coach, Angelica, from the Dominican Republic. In our last video, we will be talking about chapter 13. Mentally strong couples don't stop growing and changing. Please give me a thumbs up if you found this information interesting. Subscribe, and if you click the notification bell, you won't miss the last episode in this series. See you then.